Hello and welcome to the channel. And for today's video, we are checking out a custom on this Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Jean Grey. Just a little bit of a backstory. So, as I've mentioned in previous videos, Marvel Legends isn't a collection, a line of figures that I collect a lot of, simply because the line has been going since what, early 2000s or late 2000s, early 2010s, and then it switched first with Toy Biz, and then it switched over to Hasbro. And I didn't start collecting action figures um, around a few months before the pandemic, maybe a year before the pandemic. So I had just got started collecting again, and by that point, the Marvel Legend line was very very full of characters and all of that in terms of like its catalog of available action figures. So to start collecting then would have been um, a big, I mean, a hassle, but also a big hit on the wallet since a lot of those figures, would have been a little pricey on the secondary market. So it's just something that I didn't bother to collect, actively, except for, a few figures here and there. I would try and pick up a Spider-Man, since Spider-Man is my favorite character in terms from Marvel. So I would try and pick up Spider-Man figures. But the other line or figures that I would have loved to have collected were X-Men figures, because like any other kid, or if you were into comics in the late '80s, early '90s, the X-Men were like the major franchise for Marvel. So, and then you had the Marvel. I'm sorry. Then you had the X-Men animated series come out in '92, which was based off of the designs of from the characters from that era, from the Jim Lee, era. And that's my favorite era of the X-Men, and I'm sure a lot of other people as well. So now fast forward to today, we've got the X-Men 97 line coming out, which is and for those who don't know, but you probably do, X-Men 97 is an animated series on Disney Plus, which I haven't gotten to see yet because I don't have Disney Plus, but I hear a lot of great things about it from friends uh, who have seen it. I refuse to see any like reactions to the series right now. But anyway, we do so. Hasbro is putting out, or has been putting out, an X-Men 97 figures based off of the animated series. So basically, this is my shot at me starting my own X-Men collection from the beginning, right? And a lot of those figures I do have. I've got the Wolverine, I've got the Gambit, I got the first Magneto, I've got the Rogue, I've got the Jean Grey from the second wave. I've got the Scarlet Witch from the second wave. Not the Scarlet Witch. The Goblin Queen. So you got the Madeline Pryor. I've got the what am I missing? What am I? Well, I mean, I'm missing several other figures. I'm waiting for Storm and Bishop to go on discount. Um, I'm missing the Scott Summers, the Cyclops. But I mean, so far I've managed to get the figures that I want. The Nightcrawler, I can probably hope to get them on discount as well. But going back a little bit, for the Storm though, I do prefer the Storm from the VHS version that released last year, or early this year. No, it was definitely last year. She's a lot more closer representation of the Storm that I like, as opposed to. No, there's nothing wrong with the new Storm. I mean, Storm with a mohawk looks cool and everything, but I just prefer the Storm from how I remember her in the early '90s. No, so I would rather have the the VHS version of Storm. Anyway, so here we are. So this is my shot at me collecting X-Men figures for the Marvel Legends. And I'm showing you off the Jean Grey first because this is so far the only one that I've had a need to modify. Although I'm probably gonna do the same thing for the Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen. And so far, the only thing that I've done on this figure is for posability. I haven't had to need to repaint anything. The face paint is perfect. Maybe I mean, since these are animated versions, the colors are tend to be just flat colors. I don't need to add like shading and everything. Typically these are cell shaded, but I don't think I'm gonna go that far. If I want to make them look more real, then I'll probably just add a shading later on. But for right now, I could probably maybe the only thing that I would probably add is just a wash over the orange costume to bring out the details on the costume. But other than that, the only thing that I've done is for posability. And one of the first things that I always do on most female figures, which I started to do with the Masterverse line, is the knees. So on the knees, one of the first things that I do, typically the female figures have the knees pretty much molded straight on, like this. But what I like to do is trim off like a millimeter, maybe less, off the top and the bottom of the kneecap so that I can get a deeper, hyper extended knee bend on the figure. It looks a little more feminine, um, and it allows you to pull off some cooler poses. Uh, so I did that on both of the knees. I also did something similar like that on the elbow because for on this particular figure, the elbows were like a little curved. You can see here almost how they don't want to go straight, but you can see I did make a cut at the elbow right there, and you can hyperextend the elbow so that now she's got a straight arm. I did that also on this one. So you can see there's like a slight gap there at the bottom of the elbow. So now I can hyperextend the elbow just a little bit, the arm, excuse me, and now she's got a straight on arm. I didn't do anything as far as the waist, since she doesn't have a top uh, upper chest like most typical Marvel Legend figures. Her torso is just all one piece. And since she isn't like an acrobat or anything, I didn't have to, you know, I didn't find the need to give her like a deep ab crunch or anything. I mean, the natural, you could say her natural crunch is more than enough. Although it doesn't, she bends a lot backwards, but not a lot forwards. Um, so as far as the other customization for the legs, I did do the cut on the hip part at the top and at the bottom. You can see that I dremeled out a bit of a more of a carved out some space so that the stem of the ball joint the hip system here, um, when you open up the leg further, the stem of the ball joint system is gonna hit on this area right here. So that's gonna allow you to give her more posability, whereas before she could only do like a proper A stance. Now she can do almost a full split, and also you can close her legs further, tighter together, which is a little more feminine. All right, now she can walk a little more like a female with one leg in front of the other. The other thing that I did is I carved out a little bit of space out here by her on her butt. just so that you can move her leg backwards a little bit. Whereas before she couldn't really move her leg backwards. But now you can pull off some of those cool hip thrusting poses. And I also trimmed out here at the bottom of the her crotch. Same thing, just so that you could you can see maybe you can see there the curve right there, so that she could even get her legs closer together. Like even with the cut that I added, it wasn't enough, so I had to trim some of that area here at the bottom of the crotch. So now she can, like I said, she can now properly cross her legs, one in front of the other. But now she can pull off, like I said, those cool Jean Lee poses. And yeah, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. And also, I'm trying. This is a new phone. I got a new phone. Uh, so this is I'm recording on this new on the camera of the new phone. Let me know how all of this is turning out. And hopefully, there's nothing too egregious about this new camera. All right, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next one.